A very good morning to you and welcome to Signature Morning. I am Godwin Sunday. Of course, we are broadcasting live from Abuja, Nigerian's political capital. This morning, we'll be talking about waste management in Nigeria, and also, by extension, we'll be looking at all around the country trying to do a comparative analysis. And joining me in this conversation to talk about the waste challenges in Nigeria this morning is Ambassador Obuisi Phillips, and he's joining me from Lagos this morning. Good morning, Ambassador Phillips.
How are you this morning?
All right, Ambassador Phillips. So let's begin the conversation by first you giving us an overview of the waste challenges and where we are at the moment, where we are coming from as a country, and where we are as a people right now.
Good morning, viewers. Thank you for having me. Um, as a country and as a people that has a civilization trust on it, and people coming from the hinterlands, from the backsides of the countries and the cities to our mega cities, we are doing pretty well because we have development in our hands and we have civilization in our hands. Waste management before now has been something that is not talked about, and people never reckon with waste as any form of something that has value. But today, the country, the states across our country are beginning to embrace the concept of waste management as opportunities to create wealth and opportunities to provide livelihood opportunities for the citizenry. So where we're coming from, we're coming from a situation where waste was considered waste and rubbish and things to be discarded. We are coming from a linear economy where we manufacture, utilize, and dispose of the byproducts of the products packagings that we use. But today, where we are at is that we are transitioning into a circular economy where we manufacture, utilize, and reuse and recycle products and the byproducts of materials, and they are becoming valuable resources for other products. So where we are now is that we're embracing the concept of sustainability, and we're embracing the concept of circularity, and we are now turning waste to wealth across different states, especially in Lagos State, Nigeria, the big states, Lagos State, the FCT, Abuja, River State, and so on, where we have very large population, Kano State, and so on. So waste is becoming a resource for that value to our national economy today.
All right, thank you so much. Mr. Philip, to a very large extent, the conversations around waste management, waste disposal, and waste recycling, those conversations tend to be centered around urban communities. The rural communities doesn't they don't get to feel the benefits of waste recycling. Why is this so far? Even despite the fact that we are doing a lot to promote education on waste revamping in the country.
I think it has to do with the concentration of corporate businesses and corporate organizations in the urban cities or the city centers. It has a lot to do with them. They are interested in impacting on their immediate communities, and their immediate communities are located within urban centers. So you see a lot of activities happening within and around urban cities like Lagos, Abuja, Kano, Port Harcourt, River State that I have mentioned. But of late, recently, activities are cascading down to the local communities, to the rural communities, to our traditional settlements. This awareness is being because some of these urban centers are becoming a little bit saturated in terms of awareness and sensitization. So we are cascading our activities down of us are going back to Enugu State, Anambra, Kano State, Zamfara State, Ebonyi State. So I think for now, we are going down that way because just like you say, a lot of activities are centered around urban cities. But I think it's because a lot of a lot of institutions exist here. Headquarters of major institutions and corporate organizations exist in city centers, and they want to see activities within their immediate environment. But we are beginning to convince them that we also need to carry the people at the backsides of the urban centers along.
All right. Thank you so much for that feedback. There are a lot of factors that one would say must have necessitated the waste challenges that we have in Nigeria. And you've been in this field for a while, even doing a lot and getting endorsements from different organizations. Tell us some of those factors that perhaps must have led us to turn blind eyes, even to those at this point in time.
I think it has to do with the paucity of education and enlightenment, the lack of sufficiency or insufficient awareness, education. That is why my organization, the SWEEP Foundation, SWEEP is actually an acronym for Statewide Waste and Environmental Education Project. You understand? So I think there is this lacuna, there is this gap in information dissemination that has resulted in anti-environment, anti-community behavior by the people. Our lifestyles are the reasons. Our lifestyles, we don't. I mentioned earlier, people come from backsides of our communities that they don't understand that we the structures of management. I think some of those issues is lack of awareness, and we are bridging the gap. Is what I'm trying to say. We are bridging a lot of activities are going on by NGOs, social enterprises, and governmental agencies are created to help bridge the gap. Beyond the gap also is the lack of coordination between and you find out that there is a
all right.
state governor comes up with an ideal project. It does not cascade down to the implementers.
All right. So, Ambassador Phil, if you can hear me, there are a lot of accusations which I want you to even throw light on and throw your weight around. The accusation is that it's been alleged that within the waste management sector, one of the things that have led us to those points where we have a lot of refuge that are not being catered for, have a lot of deaths on the street across Nigeria, is the fact that a lot of funds that are earmarked for this cleaning of cities and towns and even local governments have been embezzled by public officials. How correct is this narrative?
I would not want to believe that is a correct story. That cannot be a correct story. Do you know why I say so? The challenge I have mentioned earlier is not that of embezzlement. How much is being budgeted in the first place that will be embezzled? I don't think it has to do with embezzlement of resources for waste management. I think it has to do with the reason why we see so much of waste being dumped on the median of our major roads is because of lack of education, lack behavioral patterns, lifestyles of the people. The people, waste is generated at individual level, at home level. We, the individuals, are the generators of this waste. And when we lack sufficient information or knowledge or lifestyle to appropriately dispose our waste, it ends up on the wrong sides of the community. So the reason why we see waste littering our environment is because of our unsustainable lifestyle. Now, if you talk of inefficiency in government or incompetency on the part of the managers of waste across the country, I will want to buy into that. But saying that people embezzle, I'm not aware of that.
All right. So, I want to feel what you're saying is it is not possible for that narrative to be correct. Is that what you're saying?
So that narrative is
All right, so
correct.
let's even look at some of the
Why
waste
we have
managers that
waste
we have,
within
beginning
our
from Lagos
environment.
State. In Lagos State, we have the PSP, I think formerly PSP, but now we have Loma in Lagos. Other cities also have their own waste managers across the country. But then we've seen a lot of waste managers refuse to carry out their duties and also refuse to carry out their responsibilities, which they have been is centered around some of those things. But let's talk about these waste managers. In this case, won't one tie it up to be political interference that is making a lot of waste managers not to deliver in their set target and responsibilities?
Yes, to that extent, I will agree. You see, Lagos State runs a different model from most other states across the country. In Lagos, there is the LOMA, Lagos Waste Management Authority, which manages waste. And every other state have their own waste management agencies across the country. But in Lagos, beyond LOMA, they have PSP operators who are private and independent contractors subscribed to LOMA to help evacuate waste across the state. So in Lagos, we have the PSP, or the nickname is PSP, but actually they are Association of Waste Managers of Nigeria. That is that one. Now, these people carry out waste management activities, especially household waste. So if there is a failing, the failing should be domiciled at the doorsteps of those PSP operators managed by LOMA in the case of Lagos. And in the case of other states, Lagos is doing better because in Lagos we have so many of those trucks, waste management trucks that go around across the city to pick up waste, unlike other states. Other states, the trucks are rickety, they are not organized, and people do not pay for waste evacuation. There are lots of challenges that are faced. People do not want to pay because they lack necessary information and awareness. Their lifestyle is that of dumping their waste into the gutters, into the drainages and canals. That is the ordinary default lifestyle of Nigerians, especially Lagosians. But in Lagos, through LOMA, the state government has done so much to help ensure that people at least pay some token to enable the evacuation of their waste. If you can see the picture on your screen now, the picture, that is not a waste truck, but a trailer. And that is what is obtainable across different states in Nigeria. But in Lagos, you don't have trucks like this because the state government has invested so heavily on waste management. And so we have a truck like this one. This is exactly what we have in Lagos State. So the point I am trying to make is that there is a part to be played by the citizenry, and there is a part to be played by the government. So it is a collaboration between the citizens and the government that ensures that our environments are kept clean. Because you find out that even when LOMA evacuates or PSP evacuates the waste overnight, by the morning you see people have dumped additional waste there on the median. It is their lifestyle, and only enlightenment and public education can change that.
All right. So, Mr. Philip, at this point, let's talk about even recycling. A lot of states have not even started having a conversation around. I know Lagos State is at the forefront of recycling. I know there's one recycling station at Oshodi, and there are other recycling stations that are scattered around Lagos State. But then back to other states, they've not even started talking about recycling at this point. And you know, like you've always said, I've listened, I've watched some of your videos where you always talk about the business of, like, where you started talking about the business of recycling, the business of waste management. But some states are not even talking about the waste, talk less of talking about the recycling. Is it that the states are not looking at the positive side or the business side of waste management, or it is a deliberate attempt to just shy away from what could generate funds for these states?
Respectfully speaking, some of our leaders and administrators of our public space, both elected and appointed, I am sorry to say, I feel that they have challenges in understanding what sustainability is all about. They have challenges understanding what circularity is all about. They have challenges even understanding what climate change is all about. So it has to do with the level of education, the level of awareness, and the level of consciousness of the administrators of those states. Fortunately, for some states, Lagos, Anambra, Ogun State, we have people who are passionate about the environment and about waste management, conducting the affairs of those states. So for those other states that have not embraced the concept and the principles of recycling, it has to do with the level of consciousness that the leadership of that state has with respect to these issues of waste management. So, but we continue to push. That is why we are here as non-governmental organizations. We continue to put that issue on the front burner. And organizations like your own continue to give us the space to put these issues on the front burner so that the state governors, state governments, and state officials will continue to hear and understand that for now, globally, waste management is an issue, pollution is an issue, circularity is an issue, sustainability is an issue. The United Nations is talking about, in 2016, they launched the Sustainable Development Goals, and we have 17 goals in the SDGs. The state governments across Nigeria must understand that governance is not all about income revenue generation. And even at that, waste management provides sufficient revenues for those that have embraced it. So much funds coming into Lagos State by reason of the activities of organizations like our own. So I don't understand why these other states will continue to sidetrack issues that pertains to waste management. And that is why I will always give kudos to the Lagos State government, because it's like they are top-notch. They organize the Lagos State Climate Change Summit. They support initiatives that help ameliorate the challenges of, mitigate the challenges of climate change and help people get adapted, help our communities adapt to the challenges of climate.
A lot of people, even within Lagos State, are saying that some of the funds that has been earmarked for waste managers forums, just like the one your organization and other waste management organizations are engaging with the Lagos State government right now, is a total waste of public funds for government to engage waste managers and NGOs like yours to talk about waste management. Tell me, is this also a right perspective when people begin to perceive government in this light?
The truth is that because of the enabling environment provided by Lagos State government for waste, for organizations that hold activities in this sector to thrive, because of that, so much openings are here for citizens of Lagos State. Lagos State is said to generate about 14,000 metric tons of waste daily, both domestic and industrial waste. And hundreds of people, thousands of people are taking out a living from this sector on daily basis in Lagos. So it has to do with understanding and education. If we are able to provide that understanding and education to the people in Lagos State, we are running what we call the Lagos Waste Fund.
So, invariably, Mr. Philip, are you saying that Lagos State government engaging in this forum with waste managers is not a waste of public resources? One would have asked, why is the government not contracting such a forum to probably a private organization to head or spearhead those forums? Why is the government getting involved in forum of this magnitude?
it will be unfortunate if any state government thinks that, look, this year alone, to the best of my knowledge, to the best of information available to me, organizations like the Coca-Cola Foundation, like the United States Agency for International Development, and so on and so forth, other corporate organizations have invested millions of dollars in this sector in Lagos State, to my knowledge. So the opportunity that the state government is providing, the enabling environment that the state government is providing, is actually bringing funds into the state. That's the point I'm trying to make. So those other states that think that investment in this is a waste of public funds, they are actually losing out. So Lagos State government is cashing out. Even if the money is not coming into the purse or the treasury of Lagos State government, the citizens of Lagos State now have cash, money at their disposal, disposable income. Because they allow organizations like us to thrive in Lagos State, we're able to employ, we're able to pay people, we're able to provide livelihood opportunity for the citizens, and that is helping government to address unemployment. It's helping government to address youth restiveness. It is helping government to address. So
Mr. Phil, Mr. Phil, well, I'm being signaled right now that we have to go. But then at this point, I want to say thank you so much. We'll find time to talk more with you, even on this show, to know some of the developments that is going on in Lagos. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Thank you. God bless you. Have a nice day.
All right. Well, we'll go for this short break, and when we come back, a signature morning, we'll continue. Also, we'll be talking about the new group that have emerged from Sokoto State. Please go nowhere. The show continues in a moment.